Hey guys, with us having all the information for version 3.4, it's now time to establish a new pull plan. This can be very easy and straightforward, so let me give you the TLDR real quick. You're gonna skip everything until version 3.4 and there you're gonna pull for a whole bunch of stuff. There's only one piece you pick up on your journey, and that is Ananli in version 3.3 from the Euphoria banner. If you really can't help yourself and you don't have the discipline to save up and don't pull for anything for such a long time, then establish the Afterglow team please, with Beryl, Isolde, Flutterpage and Marsha. To make the TLDR complete in version 3.4 that you save everything up for, we pull for Paper Heron, Cheng Higuan, Liang Yue, Two Fairy, and in version 3.3 don't forget to grab Ananli from the Euphoria banner there. Okay, that is the end of the TLDR. Now let's go and break down things a little bit further. You can see here on your screen that in version 3.2 we're gonna get a free 6-star character that we don't own. Before we're gonna go ahead and do anything, we of course gonna open that item and we see what we obtain for ourselves. That might or might not change how we want to approach things moving forward. After you have opened this item, let me remind you of something. Here, if you go to your bank, to the pawn shop and treble counter, here you can see that right now we have Gethyan available for purchase. In version 3.2, this Gethyan will be replaced with Isolde, and you are aware of the fact that if you decide to pull for Beryl, Isolde is an absolute must-have for you. So if you don't want to invest your bunnies into the Euphoria banner to obtain Isolde, if you have enough currency for this shop here, you can grab Isolde from here. That would make things much more convenient, so please keep that in mind. Now in version 3.2 we will get access to both Beryl and the character Brumie. Let's first get out of the way and let me explain to you why you shouldn't pull for Brumie. That is because Brumie makes everything extremely inconvenient, and here is why. First of all, let me mention real quick that you have a budget version for Brumie to play together with Anionala anyways with Kala Bauna, right? Okay, that's not too much of a big deal. Now come the kickers. If you want to play Brumie in version 3.2, you will have to do this with Anionala, Fatutu and Sharon. You already see two problems here. You destroy your Afterglow lineup in version 3.2. If you play this Brumie lineup, you cannot also play Beryl. That is not possible because both lineups absolutely need Fatutu. Look, this team goes for a hybrid synergy between Dynamo and follow-up here. The Dynamo part is covered by Brumie and Sharon, and the follow-up part is covered by Anionala and Fatutu, and it leads to things all coming together here. But again, the things that happen here are of course the following. You can't play Beryl because Beryl also needs Fatutu desperately. Unplayable without Fatutu in version 3.2. And you destroy your initial Dynamo lineup, which leads to Lucy gathering dust, right? You waste the free powerhouse Ulrich that you got, and you do all of these things just to play Brumie. Now, of course, you might be, hey, hold on a second, that is not too much of a big deal, because my Afterglow lineup isn't really destroyed, as in the very next version, in 3.3, we get the replacement for Fatutu with Marsha anyways. So, there we go. All I'm doing here right now is I'm switching out my initial Dynamo team and to replace this with the team that Brumie is built around. So, aside from me wasting my bunnies on Brumie to replace a powerhouse like Lucy, and my free powerhouse Ulrich is collecting dust, what is the big deal here, right? It is of course not worth it. As I said, like, you don't need to replace Lucy. Lucy is way better than Brumie by any stretch of the imagination, right? There's no argument to be had here. That is a proven fact. So yeah, aside from the fact that you have very strong characters that collect dust and you waste your bunnies onto Brumie, right? Not a big deal. You can play with new toys and argue yourself out of this bad situation here that way. Now comes the kicker with version 3.4 though, because now that we have access and knowledge about the characters and all the Euphoria updates for version 3.4, we have it confirmed that this is going to be a huge version and it will change the meta, except for Dynamo and Blood Tide, of course. So you want to play Chen Higuang and Liang Yue together with Flutterpage and Fatutu. That is gonna be the best follow-up attack team in the entire game, and it is gonna be one of the top 5 teams in the game. So you want to build this team and you're not gonna miss out there. Now that leaves 3 spots here. Now you can see this team is damaged right now, because now that you don't play Fatutu in this team anymore, you also cannot play Anionala anymore because the follow-up synergy here is destroyed. So what you would need to do instead is, you would have to have also pulled for Corvus, right? You need to pull for Corvus, you need to pull for Brumie, and you have to have Anionala initially, and now she's replaced and gathering dust. Keep all of this crap in mind. And then you add any sustain of your liking to this team, be it you rip off Caparina from the impromptu lineup that is based around Barcelona, or yeah, you just use Ezra here, right? Any sustain of your choice will work in this team, but you need Corvus and Anionala is gonna collect dust. Cool. Then, now you can see that the Afterglow lineup again has a free spot, but the Euphoria update for 6 fixes the problem, and that is gonna be then the Afterglow team for a while at least, and that makes it so that we can play all of these teams together. And that is the whole story about the character Brumie and why you should not pull for her. It is such an inconvenience. You also have to pull for Corvus. You will probably have to pull for Brumie. You make Anionala, Ulrich, Lucy and all of these characters collect dusts, and all because you want to pull for Brumie. That is an absolute no-brainer skip in my book at least. But you do you. This is my explanation as to why you should skip Brumie. Okay, then why do I say in my TLDR that you should skip everything until version 3.4? That is very simple. Like, Igor is pretty bad. He's played together with Muldir, which you would have to pull for, and it is just an absolute red flag. Don't ever even think about doing that. Then the Afterglow archetype team is very expensive. First of all, you not only have to pull for Beryl, but you need also Isolde, you need Marsha, and this team in version 3.2 occupies Flutterpage and Fatutu, and yeah, Flutterpage even all the way up to version 3.4, and you can only free up Flutterpage from this team in version 3.4 if you also pull for 6, right? I just explained this in more detail when we talked about why you shouldn't pull for Brumie. And aside from all of the characters that you have to pull for, like Beryl, Isolde, Marsha, 6, you know, Flutterpage and Fatutu are occupied. Beryl is a pretty underwhelming character. Like, yes, the Afterglow archetype team is gonna be high up in the meta, at least up to version 3.4. There things gonna change a little bit, and yeah, we have to wait and see a little bit how exactly this Afterglow team fares up there. But as I said, Beryl is a pretty underwhelming character, and she wants to desperately have portraits. Like, I would say at least 2. She's fine on P0, don't get me wrong, but I mean, honestly speaking, you would at least want to have her P2, and preferably even P5. You see, that is never gonna happen. You see why this is all way too expensive, right? I think I don't need to go into much detail here. And now look at version 3.4, where the meta shift is gonna happen and power spikes are gonna occur. You want, in version 3.4, Paper Heron, Cheng Higuang, Those are the two characters that you should guaranteed pull for. Then you need Liang Yue, and you probably don't have Liang right now, so she's not gonna be part of a Euphoria banner either because she's a limited character. That means you really want to, you kinda have to, if I'm being honest, pull for her rerun banner. Wow, that is already 3 like full price characters we are talking about here. And then don't forget that the Euphoria banner in version 3.4 gives Tooth Fairy a super good Euphoria, and you will want to play her together with Paper Heron and Anani, right? So this is gonna be your Euphoria banner pull. In version 3.3 you need to grab Anani, if you don't already have her, from that Euphoria banner there, right? So that you can then play her together with Paper Heron and Tooth Fairy. If you decide to go for the Afterglow lineup still, despite of what I'm telling you here, you also have to pull for 6 if you don't have him. And there's more, because look, we don't know how the portraits fare up when it comes to the characters Paper Heron and Chen Higuang. We don't know their portraits yet. Very likely that you want a portrait here or there for at least one of those characters, right? Even more bunnies go down the drain. Then we know that the new reworked portraits for Tooth Fairy, and we know we want to have her at least at P1, preferably at P2 though. You see how many Unilogs you should have, you really want to have in version 3.4, right? That is why I'm telling you to skip everything else. You know, look, I was considering, oh man, Fatutu and Flutterpage are not doing so hot for me right now. They don't really have a team where they truly shine and yeah, where they are using their full potential. That is pretty sad to have such good characters left on the bench. And that's why I considered, maybe I go for Calabauna and Anionala to give these two cuties a new home, right? But no, now I know Calabauna and Anionala are gonna be outclassed by Chen Higuang and by Liang anyways, so I'm skipping those two and I wait. You know, discipline is key in gacha games. I think you get the point. I think you understand where I'm coming from. Again, like, skip everything until version 3.4 and then you go completely broke on the version 3.4. You have Paper Heron, Chen Higuang, Liang Yue, Tooth Fairy. Grab Anani if you don't have her in 3.3 and establish portraits for these characters. We already know we have to pull for Tooth Fairy portraits, right? Save all of your bunnies up for that version, because trust me, if you don't do that, you're gonna be disappointed and you're gonna cry once we hit version 3.4. Sure, yeah, you can walk around and you can tell everyone, wow, how cool this Afterglow is and how fun it is with Beryl, how gorgeous she is, how extremely strong Anionala is, and the synergy with Calabauna, and yeah, maybe you even pull for this Brumie nonsense, right? And yeah, sure, you're gonna crush it for a while, but at the point where 3.4 hits, you're gonna sit there feeling like an idiot and you wish you would have listened to me and saved up. Trust me, this is where the true power spikes hit. This is where the meta truly changes for the first time after the 2nd anniversary. And there we go, boys. That is gonna be my pull plan for you for the version 3.2 all the way up to the version 3.4. I hope that video was fun and informative. If you like Reverse1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, don't forget to join the Discord server, link in the description down below. Take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.